Welcome into the Fan Speak Network. I am your host, Justin Bruni. Joining me tonight, and as always, is my partner and co-host, Mr. Andrew, the TD King, Rob. Happy Tuesday, sir. How are we doing?
Yes, sir. Good. Sporting the new Fan Speak apparel.
Fresh.
Right out the gate, right out the box. Amazing. Shout out Meg for sending us these nice Fan Speak shirts. But yeah, man, fucking excited to draft some best ball. Been doing a couple. Need to keep myself on pace before this thing fills up before we think it's going to. So been keeping myself on pace here so I can make sure I do get 150 in. But man, best ball, it's prime. It's ready. It's all over Twitter. It's all over YouTube. I love where the best ball community has this sitting right now. And man, we're still at the bottom. People don't realize how much more to best ball there truly is. So I'm excited for the way the best ball is coming together.
We are truly in the dog days of best ball summer. We're right in that time period where we have that lull. We're kind of like, itching our blood for any, NFL news, any spark of coach speak. I know Brandon Ayuk, he's been taking up a lot of the media cycle for the NFL. But yeah, I mean, the streets, other than some ADP movement, been pretty quiet. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about tonight is some shifts in the ADP market. Be sure to throw up any names, chat, that you'd like us to cover here. We have them up on the board. First, we're going to do the last 30 days, risers and fallers at ADP. Just take some stab at some players here for, maybe like 10, 15 minutes or so. We got Jake Wiles up in the chat. If you can't be good at it. Love it, Jake, coming in hot with that. Yeah, throw any names into the chat you want us to discuss. Like I said, we're going to start with the last 30 days. Then we'll break into the last 7 days, talk some shifts here from the last month and the last week. Be sure to smash the like button and share the video and follow the channel. Again, we're in the dog days of best ball summer. You want to come ride with us. We've got live shows almost every single day. We've got Meg dropping really great articles, Steve as well. So come check us out. We've got all sorts of good stuff for you here this best ball summer. Andrew, let's talk risers last 30 days. Who are you seeing here? Who's well, I'll start with a guy that on this list you've been buying more of.
I mean, Braylon Allen at the top. You see,
okay.
I mean, I actually was a big believer in him pre-draft. Drafted a lot of him in the rookie and best ball or rookie and sophomore ones that they had out pre-draft. So bought a lot of him. Then kind of got off him a little bit. The situation is fine, but he's behind a primo running back as well. In New York. So I kind of was off him a little bit. And then of course, you get the reports out of camp and stuff about him being great at catching the ball out of the backfield. And it's just, I think people are realizing that if Breece Hall goes down, Braylon Allen can be, what they like to say, a league winner. So it makes sense to me why he's climbing, but that's somebody I've been buying more. And then obviously your boy Jaleel, right? I mean, he's right there up 14.5 spots as well. That's somebody that I have enough of right now. But yeah, man, I mean, those two guys are probably the ones when I look at the list that I've bought the most of as of recent. The other ones on here that I have a decent amount of exposure to are Pop Douglas, Palmer, Elijah Mitchell. Same thing, good spots for them. Yeah, but I mean, those are the guys I probably have bought the most of.
Yeah, and that's fair. I think a lot of people believe that Allen can mirror, what Breece Hall brings to the offense, someone that you can kind of trust with an every down back type of role. Again, you're going to need an injury though for that to happen. So a very good handcuff. I mean, he was up in like the 205s, 210s. I think he may have even been higher than that prior to the draft. He may have dipped after that. Not looking at like individual players tonight. We got James Young in the chat asking, why did Wan'Dale start rising? I'm not really sure. I think it's just the realization that he might be the number 2 there, but I just don't know if this is an offense that's going to have a ton of targets to go around after Malik Neighbors. I mean, the cost is not high whatsoever. I mean, you're at pick 166, that's fine, but I can get Darius Slayton in the last round. I can get one of those tight ends in the last round. So I'm not sure if I'm buying a ton of Wan'Dale Robinson, but I don't think there's any media representation or coach speak as to why he'd be rising.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, like Jalen Hyatt's back there that you can get him all but free in drafts as well. Not quite sure yet, what's up with the Wan'Dale love, but I mean, again, like you said, he's far enough back that's really not going to kill you. I think people are just taking shots on the Giants because behind Neighbors, it is kind of just the wild, wild west of wide receivers there. So I think people are just taking shots on guys that they like. Jeff T said sort by percentage. I feel like that's a better representation. I mean, I guess, but spots also kind of help you realize who's up and who's down. And if you want to
Mhm.
kind of take them now or fade them a little bit, and maybe their cost
Right.
comes back down. So, I mean, I think it's fine how we have
Well,
it
I
here.
can tell you that 2 weeks ago, Braylon Allen's draft percentage was much lower. He's going to wind up climbing to similar rates of Elijah Mitchell, of even no, Rashi Rice will be 100% drafted. Everyone else is pretty much going to be 100% drafted. At one point, he was lower, but again, post draft, he shot up pretty quickly, and he's been climbing like the last 3 weeks. So even though his percentage is lower, that leverage isn't quite as strong as it was when he was at 205, 210 for his ADP. Josh Palmer is probably the name that I've drafted the most out of this side. Other than Jalil McLaughlin, JMC is definitely my big ticket guy here. Just per the ADP, I mean, up 14 spots. I don't love it, but as we'll get to the next 7 days, he's almost at the very top. So a lot of his movement has actually come in the past week. Other names here that I've been buying: Demarcus Robinson, again, not very expensive. Been getting him at that ADP farther back. DeAndre Hopkins, a lot of. I'm very still surprised that Rashi Rice continues to climb. How are you navigating his ADP? I mean, he's going up and not down. I mean, and this is a guy that we were, telling folks that you can easily get 10, 15 picks past ADP. Is that just gone for you from what you're seeing?
I mean, it's definitely harder to get him closer to 100 now than it was earlier. I think it's just we're not getting any suspension news. That's probably the number one hot item for why he's still kind of
Mm-hmm.
rising here. Um, I think it's okay to draft him. I do still think he's going to be suspended probably 3 or 4 games. So at the cost for what the offense is, and he's wide receiver 43 off the board right now, I think that's fine. I just prefer to only still take him if it makes sense in the build and he does fall past ADP. I just don't want to take him there because let me pull over here to the board real quick. He's going around. Let's see, where is he? Wide receiver. What did I say? 43. Okay, so he's going
Mm-hmm.
around the likes of Lad McConkey, DeAndre Hopkins, Brian Thomas, Deontay Johnson, Christian Watson, Keon Coleman, JSN. Like, I prefer a majority of those guys because I know that they're not going to be suspended. But again, like if Rashi Rice is your wide receiver 5 on your team, if you have just
Yeah.
went, four in a row and he's sitting there and you want to take him, like that's where I think it makes sense. I don't want him as my third guy on my team. Definitely don't want him as my second, right? Fourth, depending on the build, like if I have Mahomes or something, then maybe. But
Mm-hmm.
naked Rashi, I only want him really as like a 5 right now. I still think that there's other guys that make sense to draft where he goes for the full season.
No, agreed. You took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, when it comes down to picking him, it has to be about your build and the other players that you have around his ADP, right? Like the other values. Because again, if you're even drafting him at ADP, I'm very skeptical that I'm going to get, a good build, where I'm getting other, reliable scorers on my roster, right? I don't want to waste a pick on him. I don't want him as like my second or my third guy. Fifth, preferably 6 if I'm sitting in a good spot. And then, like you said, maybe you can go a little bit lower if you have a Mahomes or if you have maybe even a Kelsey.
Yeah, correct. Spread checking in, by the way. He says, why is Brock Bowers the best pick this year? He might as well, Spread, you might as well just buy a Brock Bowers jersey right now and just wear it all the time. You are his number one fan.
Get the t-shirt.
Jeff T says, I got Jalil in a draft at 171 a week ago. Jalil's probably rising his way out of future teams soon. Yeah, I mean, if he keeps going, there's going to be a point where you're like, all right, I've got enough of him. People are going to take him above. Like, I have a better value than other people. So, yeah, you're honestly, if he keeps rising, he's going to potentially be not a fade, but a guy that I'm going to take way less of.
1,000%.
George Villalobos checking in. Sup, brothers? You guys going to draft one right now? Yep. As soon as we're done here, talking about the risers and fallers and ADP, we will be hopping in a BBMV draft.
Let's jump over to the fallers. And again, Chad, any names here that you want us to throw out? What are some key players here on this side of the board that you've been avoiding or that you are buying the dip?
So honestly, I mean, to see Ben Sinnott going down is the right way that he should be going down. We've alluded to this. He's probably going to be a pretty decent end of year guy, but to start out the year, they're probably going to want to, get Ertz. Ertz is the pass catcher. They brought Sonata into, pass block and for running blocking, so I think he's going to do a ton of blocking. He'll have some good games at the, beginning of the season, I feel, but it's just not worth the cost at what other guys go around him. And again, let's just check out the board here. He is, what is he, tight end 19? Yeah, 19. So going around him is Luke Musgrave, Hunter Henry, Kate Otten, Tyler Conklin, Noah Fant. A little bit up the board, you got Hawk, Komet, and Freiermuth. Like, there's just guys there that I think make more sense for target opportunity in their team. Sanat is going to be a fun play and is a great dynasty pick, but for best ball this year, he needs to keep going down. I think where he's at now, it's getting better, but I think he still continues to fall down unless training camp comes and he's like balling out and Zach Ertz is just kind of whatever. I mean, he's flashy, right? Like Zach Ertz is the old reliable guy. He's the new flashy toy. Let's see, what he can do. So I agree with taking him. I just don't like taking him at his cost. So I think he's going to keep going down. That's the one that stands out the most to me that makes sense. Obviously, Nick Chubb, he's hurt, 26 spots down. I feel like now he's getting closer to the opportunity area where I feel like, okay, as my running back 4, that's not bad. I'll take that. I don't really want him as 1, 2, or 3 personally. Yeah, 5's even better. I don't want him as 1, 2, or 3. 4 is where it starts getting a little bit tempting depending on your build, but 5 is where it actually would make sense to me. But those 2 are probably the guys that stick out the most. Obviously, Juwan Johnson, same thing, injury. Everyone's scared of that. I mean, how about you? Like, what are your top 2 ones here that kind of makes sense to you?
Make the dips make sense, or buying the dip makes sense?
The actual dip itself makes sense. Outside of the guys I just named. Anybody
Keaton
else
Mitchell, JJ McCarthy for sure. I mean, I still think that Justice Hill is going to play a big role there behind Derrick Henry, and obviously Lamar's going to run a lot. I just don't think that you need to target any of those guys other than your last round pick. I mean, I don't understand why Kirk Cousins has fallen. I don't understand that.
Yeah, that's a little surprising to me. I agree with you there. Caleb Williams kind of makes sense to me a little bit. I think he was a little overhyped right at the beginning. He's down 10 spots, almost a full round. He'll probably continue to drop a little bit more until training camp. I think training camp's when the ADPs are really going to change then, because that's when we get a lot more information. People get hurt. We see who's running, more with the ones in certain packages. So I think that's when it's really going to change. But yeah, I mean, Caleb Williams kind of makes sense to me too, as far as, where he was going. He's still QB 12. I still think that's semi-rich. There's some guys behind I like a little bit more, but
that's rich. Yeah. As a Bears fan, that's rich. And you and I have seen him gone at picks 120, 125. So yeah, I mean, that definitely makes sense there. Buying a lot of these dips though, Jeff calling it out in the chat about Juwan Johnson in the last round. Obviously I've got a lot of exposure to Juwan already, so I don't need to get overboard with him. But since the injury, I have taken at least one shot with him in the last round, and I had already drafted Travis Kelce, so I felt like okay about that. I've got Paul in the chat saying I've heard concerns with Cousins being benched late in the season. Ouch.
That would be bold to me.
That would be very bold.
You went and got him, and I understand you drafted a quarterback in the first round, which was the dumb decision from the get-go. But I mean, unless they completely stink and they just want to see what they got in the rookie, maybe. But I don't really feel like that's going to be the case.
I mean, I guess you could have that concern week 17. They spent a first-round pick on him. If they're, really like 4 or 5 games under 500, I guess there's a reality. It's the NFL, no one's safe. I don't care what anyone says. No one is ever safe in this league. It's kind of like that old saying of Tom Brady, or maybe it was Tom Brady or Peyton Manning. If you get on the field, do whatever you can to stay on it, because you don't know when you're going to get your last chance.
Yeah, Jake says, so let's not forget they gave him $230 million.
Yeah, so, exactly. Yeah, but he's not going to be here forever.
Yeah, Jeff says, I agree that Cousins' leash may be shorter than the fantasy community would like to believe. I don't know. I still think it's Cousins' team. And again, unless they really, really, really suck, I just don't see how they're going to take him off the field.
Yeah. Let's switch over to the next 7 days. Let's get rolling here, because I don't want to spend too much more time without the draft going.
Yeah,
I know everyone
Jake did say that Keaton Mitchell becoming a viable draft option big time here, especially if he's in a 6 RB build. I mean, he's a fun guy to take as the last guy in a 6 RB build.
Sure. I mean, I really don't have any. If you want to do that, I think you should probably have Derrick Henry on your team. if you're going 6. I just don't see how many spike weeks are going to be available unless you've already.
He could be an interesting bring back for if you have some Houston players and you want to get a little unique with it as your last pick, for week 17. Sure. I don't see that being a problem.
Yeah. I don't know. To me, it just feels just the same as like Braylon Allen. I'm like, I don't know if I would necessarily want him naked. I can get a couple of shots, couple of spike weeks if he gets a couple of 2 touchdown games.
Spread said he did a 2-4-10-2 today. Ask me anything.
Love it.
That is wild. 10 wide receivers. Spread send that team over in the group chat. I'd like to take a look at that.
Let's talk last 7-day risers. Like we kind of said already, McMillan, he's been popping off in the last week, up nearly 7 spots in 7 days. That's exactly where Demario Douglas is. Where are you falling in with Jalen McMillan? Are you starting to grab him at this increased cost? Because everybody's hopping on the train.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to grab him a few times before any of this happened. Like when BBM first dropped, I took a lot of Baker stacks early for no real purpose reason. It just kind of happened to fall that way. I took a lot of Otten. As we saw last show, Otten's one of my top 5 most exposed tight ends in BBM. So I just by de facto just kind of drafted McMillan as well. So I was lucky enough to get him a little bit past where he's going now. I still think it's fine to take him there. Him and Jermaine Burton kind of remind me of the same kind of ordeal situation where they're behind two good receivers in an offense that's probably going to throw the ball a lot. So both those guys I like. It makes sense to me that he's moving up.
The cost isn't that high. He's a pick 191. No. So if you want to take some stabs, you can. I don't think that the increased cost or adjusted cost is anything that special. Maybe you just take a little bit more of a look at them. A good stacking opportunity for sure. Again, if you're, looking at week 17 against Carolina, wouldn't hate some late round Carolina, Tampa Bay, including some Jalen McMillan. What about Kamani Vidal? Everybody's been jumping in on him. I've really just sprinkled it between him and J.K. Dobbins, just ping pong back and forth, grab a little here, grab a little there, not concerning myself with, taking an overwhelming share of either, really.
Yeah, I'm okay taking him. Again, it's a offense that we expect to be more or less run heavy. So I'm fine taking a shot on it. J.K. Dobbins has not proven to stay on the field. Gus Edwards already a little injured, to start off the season here. I'm fine with it personally. He's not going to kill you. He's RB50. If you go back and look at his stats from college, he's very impressive. So I can understand why people want to draft him. And he's only up 4.5 spots. So it's not like he's up 15 spots. I still think it's, a good pick as your RB 5 or 6 on your team.
Yeah. The other guys at the bottom here are pretty minuscule. Drake May, is he doing anything for you this week? Is he getting you going? Getting your blood flowing?
I'll buy more into him a little bit. I do want to kind of see, like, this is somebody I'll watch during training camp to see how he's performing, what the coaches are saying about him, the relationships he's building on the field with some of these wide receivers. So yeah, again, he's QB 26 as I don't think I want him on 2 QB builds, but on 3 QB builds, I'm fine taking the shot there. He has some upside. He's probably going to run the ball a little bit more than people think. That offensive line is one of the worst in the NFL. He's probably going to be running de facto, just because he's going to have to a little bit. So I'm fine with that. Up 4 spots, that's not nothing. That's nothing really. Makes sense. Ramondre too down there, same team.
Yeah, I expect him to finish the season for the Patriots, and I think that's what's going to matter most for his value. And again, if you're drafting Drake May, it's going to be in 3 quarterback builds, so no issues there. Yeah. A little bit of love to Jonnu Smith. We've been banging the drum so far all off season, getting a little bit of a nudge this past 7 days, up almost 4 spots. And Jelani Woods. Is Jelani Woods your Colts tight end, Andrew?
He is. I don't think I've drafted him at all yet, but I haven't drafted a whole lot of Colts either. So I think it's just because of that I haven't drafted him a lot. I will though. He's an impressive dude. He's massive, so I can see
big
why.
Big human, very big human. I'm still a Kyle Granson truther, so I'm gonna continuing being a Granson stan. Let's look at fallers, and then we're going to jump into a draft here. So again, Juwan Johnson, major fall. Antonio Gibson. Ramondre signs a contract, and they're just like, nope, no more of you. No more of you. Javon Baker, too. Demario Douglas, he gets a little bit of Twitter love. Little bit of Twitter love. Javon Baker, we forget all about him. Thoughts on these Patriots here?
I've taken Javon Baker a bunch, so I
Same.
don't,
Same.
seeing the fall, it's fine. I mean, again, it's only 4 spots, not a big deal. But I think that again, people kind of were probably on Baker a little bit, then they got off, and now they're drafting more Polk. Whatever the case may be, it's probably what it is. Because I don't think I've seen any news come out that says that Javon Baker isn't good or that he's being a nuisance to the team. Nothing like that. So yeah, I mean, it's only
Nuisance
4
to the
spots.
team. Damn, nuisance to the team.
Yeah. Your boy Keon Coleman over there, down 4 spots. People love Brian Thomas more.
Buy the dip. Buy the dip. That's okay. Let them love Brian Thomas more. Buy the dip. A couple of more folks getting off of Justin Fields. That's, I guess, kind of to be expected. I would assume his stock will go up and down kind of timidly like that. Up 3, -4, up 4, -3, just kind of back and forth.
I see Bateman over there. Bateman was somebody who came up the board and now is going back down a little bit. I think we reached the peak of where people wanted to take Bateman, and now they're letting him fall a little bit because everyone was on him when he was, pretty much a round 18 pick at the very end, right? So now that he's climbed a little bit, I think now people are like, all right, we've taken enough of him. He can go back down.
Yeah, I'll say the same there for Jalen Tolbert. I think he was getting gassed up the board just the same, and people have kind of said, you know what, a little too far. Give me some more Roman Wilson, though. I will continue to buy the Roman Wilson love. And also Khalil Herbert, he had a little bit of a dip. There was like that note that, he could be traded, and then, nothing has happened. So I think people are just like, what if he doesn't? That sucks.
Yeah, no, definitely. Also, Burrow, he's fallen here. He's fallen over the past 30 days. I think really it's just that people look at the little note that's, in Underdog says like he should be ready for again, to me, that's no news. That's nonsense. I think he's going to be completely fine. And, Sebastian had alluded to that as well, that he should be good to go. So I don't really see why the fall on Joe Burrow. But if he keeps going down, he's going to be somebody I target.
I will also buy the dip in Marvin Mims. Been buying a lot of them. He kind of still fits that same type of like explosive type of just like player you want to target, like a JMC, right? Like what he can do at a per touch rate is definitely something you want to look for in best ball. So I'll take that dip there as well. He could very well be, second on the team in targets. So I'll definitely take some Marvin Mims at that cost and at a little bit of a discount. All right. Are you ready to jump in the draft, sir?
Yes, sir. So if whoever's in the chat wants to jump in with us again, we are doing a BBM5 draft. I will go ahead and poke my head in, see what we're working with here. Oops, nope. 3 more to start. Back out. Do not go in. Chat back out.
I did not. All
right, we'll give that a hot second here and see if that fills up real quick.
Yep. I can throw this back up here, see if there's anyone else that we may have missed. Still buying Josh Jacobs at cost?
I haven't bought Josh Jacobs at all.
Dang. Just buying all that Marshawn Lloyd, eh?
I do like Marshawn Lloyd, yes.
I have a fair amount of both. I wouldn't say I'm prejudiced against Josh Jacobs.
Well, that's good to know. I see Hopkins up 11 spots as well. I think the fantasy community is split on Hopkins versus Ridley. I think Ridley's more explosive. Hopkins is probably going to be a little bit more reliable. So, but I'm assuming that's probably what the rise here is that he was down a little too low. People liked who he was going in front of and behind, so that kind of makes sense why he's kind of going up there a little bit. But yeah, where do you stand on that, Hopkins or Ridley? Because they're pretty close together as far as ADP.
I'll take either. I mean, you've seen me draft Will Levis. He's my most exposed quarterback right now. I'm taking a lot of both. So it's really just who falls to me. It's very simple. I have no push one way or the other. I'll take Ridley. He's obviously the preferred option. I think he'll probably have more targets, but I think Hopkins winds up having more touchdowns. So I think it's a great value at where they're going. Hopkins, wide receiver 31 or 41, excuse me. I want to say that Ridley's maybe like in the low 30s.
He has to be pretty close. They have to be really close together right now. Let's see. So Hopkins 41, Ridley 35.
Yeah, so mid 30s.
Yeah, so pretty close. Spread asks, how far would Josh Jacobs have to fall before I start drafting him? I mean, he needs to go at least a round and a half down for me to consider it, to be honest with you.
Dang, round and a half. Damn.
Yep. I'm going to poke my head back in here and see if this thing has filled up. Yep.
All right, what you got? That had to have filled up.
Damn, still 3 more to start.
They're waiting for us.
I'm gonna hit back out again. Yeah, God, I don't want to get stuck.
It's a trap.
I'm trying to look here. So I'm looking over at the ADPs right now, trying to see if I want to ask you some this or that guy. So let's go to running backs. The hot topic, right now is running back starting 3 to 4 in a draft. I was talking to Wiles about this, man. I don't care how you want to spin it. It's just not the way to do it. It just isn't. You're really leaving value on the wide receiver table if you don't take one in the first 4 rounds. It's wild to me that people are really liking the strategy. But speaking of running backs,
I think it's fun, to do something different. I mean, I think that's the case. That's not a way to spend your best Ball Mania 5 money. It's a way to spend some of your puppies. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
if you want to have some fun with it and experiment, then do it with low costing tournament entries. You know what I mean? Just don't spend your $25 like that. I don't think it's the best idea, but it's fun. That's all people are doing. And I don't hate it, because you can see some interesting builds and you can force the draft to make some tough decisions when you do, take, running backs in that type of way. When you go first 4 rounds, it can, play an effect on the board and the other people in the draft room. So I like it for that approach, but I don't like it as a reliable means to leverage high yielding results.
Yeah, I agree with that. James Young says, "What's your opinion on not just clicking the next available wide receiver?" I'm not sure exactly what he's asking here. Is this like
just not being an ADP scum?
Oh yeah, I mean, to me, I mean, there's a point in the draft where I really don't care about ADP anymore. But I mean, it all has to make sense to my build. I'm not just taking random guys for just random reasons. I try to make it, count towards the build. If it's a stack, if it's a correlated thing, I try to do that. If not, then it really just depends. Like, if I'm trying to set myself up for future stacks as well in the draft, so that plays into it. So there's a lot of factors. It's not just clicking the next one.
Absolutely. Yeah. Don't be a slave to ADP.
No. All right. Hold on.
Let me see. You want to check in here? I got to imagine we got to be close.
10 more to start. There we go. Go ahead.
There we go.
Everyone in the chat, feel free to jump in with us. Again, it is a BBMV draft, $25, $15 million prize pool, $1.5 million at the tippy top.
I appreciate all your donations.
It is funny seeing some people post their teams on Twitter, and I don't like to bash people, but sometimes I look at them like they paid the rake. That's
nice. Nice. Go to draft. We'll have it up here in a second once it fills. Only one more person to go, so that means the chat is gonna be fired up in here. TD King, thanks for the money, clowns. Yeah, I love it, Paul. And I was inverted's in here. Wiles, I think that's all I know.
Yes, nice. Oh my God, on stream, I'm not in 11 or 12. Oh baby, it's a new dawning.
Baby, he says, a new dawning. You said, my goodness, look at you.
It's a great time to be alive. Great time.
What a time to be alive, says Andrew. In the what spot? In the 2 spot?
In the 2 spot, baby.
You're pretty excited about that, huh?
I mean, that's fine by me. That's better than 11 or 12. I mean, we got somebody else in the chat here. They got the 1 spot. So we got, what the fuck does that say?
I don't know.
Delutomsky. Got Delutomsky. Spell that out in sounding form for us. Oh my God, he took Lamb. I will take CMC at 2. That is cool by me. Mucho
Look at you. Look at this guy's name up here. Thanks for the money, clowns. You can't even see it over the next person. Get the fuck out of here. I love
that. Jake said he took my spot. Boo. Yeah, have fun with that. D. Lutomsky. I'm hoping
D. Lutomsky.
Nice. Well done. Done. Appreciate you being in here with us. If you haven't already, subscribe to the network. Put those notifications on. We do this 4 times a week, baby. 4 times a week. You can get in and draft with us. Love it. Lou Tomsky. Yeah, see? Yeah, there we go.
Defend yourself, Lou. They're coming for you.
Oh, no.
They're coming for you, Lou Tomsky. Lou Tomsky Auto Parts.
So, yeah, I mean, Lamb, McCaffrey, Hill, Chase, St. Brown, Jefferson, Bijan, Pretty standard outside
Pretty
of the
straightforward.
first
Even the Lamb pick at 1 is like it's pretty normal.
Yee, let's get it.
Yeet yeet. AJ Brown at 9, again, very common here. Nothing crazy. Paul took Bijan at 7, solid.
Yep.
Garrett Wilson again, nothing crazy there. Let's see what Wiles does. Do something weird, Wiles. Do something wild.
Man, he must have gotten the 101 a lot. He says, "Man, I've been taking CMC every time at the 101."
Yeah, change it up, all good.
Yeah,
I took Tyreek Hill last year a few times in the 101, all good. No one came down at me for that. A little Puka fall for Wiles. A little Puka fall.
Will we ever see a rise?
He's going to go Harrison. He's going to go Marvin.
Will we ever see a rise like we saw from Puka, who went round 18, 17, 16 last year to now being round 1? Will we ever see this again in a best ball or in fantasy?
I mean, best ball wasn't around for Colin Kaepernick. Otherwise, that would have been the case.
I can't tell if you're joking or not there.
No. Like the year that he went off, like I think it was him and Andrew Luck were either rookies, or maybe Andrew Luck was a sophomore. I can't remember, but they both had like amazing seasons, and they were, like super flex leagues. I know they were first round picks. Some people even took him in the first round. Yep, Marvin Harrison took Kaepernick in the first round. So I mean, he was supposed to be the big thing, and he was like all over the news cycle, all the coach speak, and then he just completely fell. He just completely fell off. It was no longer worth the first round pick.
Yep. So Wiles went my boy Puka, and then Marvin. I like that start. That's a good start.
Week 17 correlation there.
Week 17 correlation.
Dome games. Garrett Wilson, Deebo Samuel for G Money. Josie on the clock. Let's see what he does here. Maybe some Saquon. Just playing it by the book. Very common start for the 9 spot, going AJ Brown, Saquon.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, there it is. First time with that combo, says Jake. First time. Well, you're not the first time I've seen it. Paul going double RB to start, going hero RB, Bijan and Taylor.
He's gonna run that 3 or 4 RB start.
Maybe.
I'd be interested to see what the team looks like.
You can pull it off for sure with 3 guys, but you just don't have to take your 4th guy forever. So
yeah,
a lot of ground to cover.
Eagles started Bijan, Barkley, and Achane, I believe, today. I think I saw on Twitter. Then he put it out there. People can start roasting him. I asked him to put out the team when it was finished, and the team was fine. It's just, again, like I just don't like looking at my wide receivers when I don't have 1 or 2 elite guys on the team. I just don't feel as good about my team.
Sure, no, I get that, but at the same time, we're trying to create unique builds, right? Sure. So being different than everybody else, that's an easy way to do it.
Sure, yeah.
But you have to hit all of your wide receiver home runs, which can be very tough. Like you need to be, nailing guys like, Puka Nacua in the late rounds. You're going to need to nail the best Houston receiver this year, being able to pick whichever one at value, and have them yield the best results. So, yeah. But what I don't like about it is that when I do get to like value running backs, I don't have a means to take them because I don't need them. And that's what I really dislike, is when I do go that direction and then everyone else in the draft is like, we're just going to take the receivers every time. We already saw what you did. We're not blind.
Yeah.
People can also mess with you more in that format. And that's why I say to do it with, cheaper contests, is because if someone messes with you and, they wind up screwing you or, out of the draft room, then cool. I lost $10. I lost $5. I didn't lose 25.
Yeah. I'll have some where I start 2 or 3 running backs in the first like 4 rounds. I'll try it out a little bit, but majority of the time I'm going to go, RB or wide receiver heavy.
So we just went on a huge receiver run here. After Paul, we went Jalen Waddle. I took Devonta Adams, Nico Collins, to Thanks for the Money Clowns, Brandon Ayuk, Mike Evans to the TD King, Malik Neighbors, D. Lutomsky with Malik Neighbors and Devontae Smith with a CD Neighbors Smith start there. Got that week 17 correlation, Dallas and Philly. Let's see. Andrew went Cooper Kupp Achan after him. I'm going to be up here in a couple of picks. Might take a running back. I don't know. Might take Derrick Henry. We'll see.
Really thought about taking DK there. This is the part in the draft where these wide receivers, like I don't know which one I like really like more. You know, the Devontae Smith, the Cooper Kupp, Metcalf, Moore. You know, like those guys. I just want to get enough exposure to each of them personally. There's a part, you know, in the draft where there's like a few guys at different positions where I'm like, I can't decide which one I like the most right now. So I'm just trying to mix it up and just take a bunch of them.
George is at the 10 spot. That's G Money 8. He's got Garrett Wilson and Debo.
That's
Yeah.
serviceable. Yeah.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. I mean,
It
we're
gives
in the
you two
belief.
easy stacks too. I mean, the Jets and the 49ers, as far as quarterbacks are concerned, are easy to get.
And we're both in agreement that, you know, Debo is going to get his fair share of the run game this year. We're thinking he's going to get included, you know, in that type of usage again. More consistent with 2 years ago than last year.
Yeah.
Tank Dell at 33. I just can't get behind it. I cannot get behind it. I'm sorry. At even ahead of ADP's pick Z, he's ADP's like 35. Josh Allen went to Villalobos. I mean, come on. Tank Dell, Josh Allen, who's scoring more points? I'm sorry. I mean, there's going to be a lot of guys here that are going to score more points than Tank Dell this year. I mean, Stephon Diggs, who went right ahead of him, probably going to score more points. I took DJ Moore. I took DJ Moore. Paul took DJ Moore at 31. I took Derrick Henry at 29. These guys are all going to score more points than him. This is crazy. Sam Laporta, same thing. Travis Kelce, same thing. Jalen Hurts, Amari Cooper, Pickens, Michael Pittman. Say what you want about him. I'll take more points to Pittman this year over Tank Dell. I'm sorry. I don't get it.
Well, so that's kind of a hard comparison, though, because Pittman's going to get a lot more targets than Dell.
No shit. That's why Tank Dell shouldn't be going in the third round.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you. I mean, I really like Tank Dell, but his cost is so high.
It's crazy. Yeah. I need at least probably a 2-round tax, at least round 5 or 6. I mean, taking a wide receiver 3 in the third round, I don't care who it is. I don't care what team it is. I don't care if Tom Brady's in his prime throwing the ball in that offense. Like, stop. It's too much. It's too much. I can get Joe Mixon. Let's see where Joe Mixon goes. I want to see how much farther behind he goes.
Yeah, see, G Money just he did that correctly. He took Allen and then reached for Kincaid, but I love stacking those two.
Let's see how far he reached. Oh, quite a bit. It was pick 52, but yeah, I mean, you locked it down.
I did the exact same thing like 3 drafts ago. I reached for Kincaid just because I wanted that stack. A lot of it that's probably going to be more unique than people think it is because people don't want to reach past the ADP. This is where you have to just forego ADP, get the stack, and just move on.
Yep, absolutely.
If you haven't already, please like the video here for us. That really does help the network. We appreciate you guys all. If anybody here is not subscribed already, please do so as well. Also, visit fanspeak.com. That's where you can get great articles about best ball. Meg just wrote one the other day that kind of compares good and bad spots in the fantasy playoffs. Like, you know, Tua in cold weather, right? That's week 17 all day. It's probably not going to be the best spot for Tua, but you can revert and pick yourself somebody who's going to have a good week 17 spot there. So definitely check that article out. It was very helpful. I looked at it for a while and was kind of jotting some notes down in the brain as to how I want to pivot during things. So visit fanspeak.com, look at the articles, tons of great stuff there. I'm up on the board here. How do we want to play this one here?
Shmee. Got James saying I prefer going wide receiver, taking Saquon, Achane, Kyron in the third. Yeah, I mean, if you somehow get Saquon in the third, that's awesome. I don't see him fall that far with any sort of consistency. I was thinking about taking Lamar there, but I took Henry. Are you going to take Andrews?
Potentially. Yeah. I mean, I actually don't mind taking Lamar naked.
No, I have lots of naked Lamar, and that's just because I get sniped.
Yeah. Oh, do I just want to complete the stack or take my boy Scary Terry? You know what? We'll just complete the stack. That's all good.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were gonna do. I'm thinking Trey here. I'm a little bit under that 15% that I'm always talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get back. Let's see if thanks for the money clowns lets him fall to 53. Pick 46 to 53. I'll take that all day. Let's see how sharp. Thanks for the money clowns. Thanks for the money clowns. Yeah, that's long name. Long name. Don't put it on the jersey. If not, I'm taking Calvin
This
Ridley.
guy auto drafted? Oh no. Oh no.
Nah, he took him. He took him. Had to jump back into the stream to make sure he was sniping me, but that's okay. That's okay. I took more Calvin Ridley. I'll take it. All right, so you started off with CMC, Evans, Cooper, Lamar, Andrews. Very good start. Very good start, Andrew. It's like you do this. It's like you've done this before. Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Devonta Adams, Derrick Henry, Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley. Happy with that start. I'm happy with it. I may have already done it before, but I'm very happy with it. I like all these guys, so I know I've drafted a fair amount of Ridley, Kirk. I think of this group, I've drafted Derrick Henry the least, so I like getting him in this build. At the 6th spot, we've got a straight receiver build here, 0-0-5-0. Justin Jefferson, Jalen Waddle, DK Metcalf, T. Higgins, Keenan Allen. That's interesting. I think you got to like pivot now. I mean, after round 5, I think you're just getting a little bit too overboard here. There's going to be value to be had at running back coming up, tight end. Actually, tight ends, man, we're getting fleeced here in this round. Andrews, McBride, now Pitt's gone. I feel like that might be a little bit early for Pitts. I saw that comment earlier.
James Young throwing in here some NBA stuff. This is not an NBA podcast, sir. Not the NBA.
I was going to be nice, but, Andrew's not.
I mean,
I was going to not mention it.
NFL, NBA.
We got Josie going bully tight end with Kelsey and Pitts. I just saw. I didn't catch that.
Yeah. I mean, I've done it a couple times where bully tight ends. I actually don't mind doing that. I way prefer taking elite tight ends.
Yeah, I mean, with Tank Dell in there.
Yeah, that's where he went wrong.
Maybe it helps, because you're putting in, you're putting Kelsey or Pitts into your flex conversation more consistently. I don't know. I still don't like Tank Dell at that cost, no matter what. Let's see. Paul went DJ Moore, Pickens, Xavier Worthy. I like that. And again, that's a good example how you can still get like solid receiver value and start off with the hero RB approach.
Yeah, two is okay. It's the people who are going that's 3 or 4 that's just lunacy to me.
But there's no one else in the draft that started with 2, and that's still rare. Like, right? Like it's a lower percentage play. So that's why, again, like I still don't even hate leaning into the 3rd, because, and again, right now is the time to do it. Absolutely do not do that in August. Do not do that in the first days of September. Like, then you're really losing out, because that's when everyone is sharp and every pick matters even more. Like, you can take all sorts of chances with your last 3 picks, at this time of the year while we're still, in a lull, and you can steal value. Like Jerome Ford. Did you see him on the risers, Bill? No. Like, what the hell?
Crazy.
Like, crazy. How is he not on that list for the last 30 days?
Let's see. So Wiles then went Jacobs, Godwin. That's fine. G Money out here just completing stacks. Took your boy Keon Coleman. Like that.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
So Paul's up here. Let's see what he does. Interested to see if he takes a running back here. Okay, no, another wide receiver. There's my boy, Brian Thomas.
Yeah, I like that run. More Pickens, Worthy. Mixon, the 6th round to Tank Dell's round 3. Crazy to me. Crazy to me. Should I just take CJ Stroud to piss them all off? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Jay brings up a good point. Less stack with mobile QBs. Yeah, I mean, it's fine to stack the QBs that are mobile, but they're the ones that you really don't have to stack too much because of the running upside. I've heard, Established a Run talk about this recently on a podcast about like Jaden Daniels. That's a guy that you can stack like just Terry with and just be done with it, right? Like same thing with Lamar. Take Andrews, take Flowers, whatever one of them, and then just be done with it. You don't have to really go overly heavy on the mobile guys.
CJ Stroud goes next. Better team name? What? I don't know what you mean, spread.
I don't typically take Rachaad White, but I do have Evans. I might take that here. He has fallen a little bit. I don't love Rachaad White, but he's fallen a little bit. I don't have a ton of them. I'm gonna do that actually.
Those are too punny for me. Spread.
I mean, I like Mahomes alone a little better than Princess McBride.
Yeah, I like Princess McBride.
Everyone has the Hawk Tua going on right now. TJ Hawk and Tua. No, you're not in it.
It's just like it was funny for like 5 minutes, and then everyone just went on for like another half hour, and it was like, guys, like it's funny, but relax.
I mean, it is funny.
It was. No, you're not wrong. It was funny. It just got, just overdone way too fast.
Jake says Andrew's doing 0 wide receiver strategy. I got 2. I'm gonna get 3 right here. So I can suck it, Trebek. All right, just relax.
Whoa.
He over here calling me out. What a guy. Just wait till this weekend. We're gonna be doing
calm down, Andrew.
We're doing
calm down.
After party drafting this weekend.
Get control of yourself.
I'm in control.
You're not in control. Probably going Deontay here again. I just don't care. Don't care. As long as the money clown guy doesn't take him from me. JMO, a little early for JMO, no?
I think that's roughly right.
No, it's like eight picks ahead.
Okay, yeah, 8.
Yeah, he took Deontay.
6 wide receivers right now. That's a lot.
The guy that says thanks for the money clowns, he sure does like to take my picks.
He saved you from taking Deontay Johnson.
No, I just took more David Montgomery. That's all.
I love Dave Montgomery. That's a solid pick.
Yep. So I've got Henry, Walker, Montgomery, Amon-Ra, Adams, Kirk, Ridley.
The Lions were ranked number 1 offensive line on Pat Thorman's offensive line rankings. So they were the only one in tier 1 for him. So they are by far, in his mind, the best. Jake, Lions are trash though. Shout out merch guy Jake Paquin in the chat.
Right on. I'm a Bears fan, so appreciate. I didn't slander David Montgomery though when he left. I mean, I just said, hey man, go do you. Go get it done.
You did? You texted him?
I did. I said, what's up? I said, hey man, we're cool still. We can still kick it. I'm still your buddy. I'm going to keep taking you after ADP, and look how well it worked out for me last year.
100%. Yeah.
38 hits, baby. I'll take it.
David Montgomery, over under 11 touchdowns this year. Where are you at?
Oh, that's tough. 11 is a tough one. 10's a very good season, and I guess I'll say under, just because I got to think that Gibbs gets a little bit more exposure in the red zone, right? A little bit.
I mean, you would think so. Yeah. I think he's going to really
9 or 10 rushing touchdowns in round 7. I'll take that all day.
Yeah, I really do think that he hits double digits. I mean, the offensive line is great. They showed us what they want to do when they get around the goal line. They do prefer to run it there. David Montgomery, to me, is the better goal line back just because of his size. But yeah, I think 11 is probably a good number.
No, I love it.
I'll
take the under, but I love that you're thinking it's that high.
This point in the draft is where you're like, okay, glad I took some wide receivers. I mean, the running back carousel is opening up right here for us to ride. Again, this is the point in the draft where people need to realize when you start a bunch of running backs, you kind of get pushed out of wide receiver, and then you have all these running backs left, and it's like, what are you going to do? You going to take 5 before you take any wide receivers? Like, that's just nuts.
I will go with Montgomery here. I just have to think that Mostert comes down to earth.
That's a good one, man.
Just got more competition.
I'll take Mostert. I think, and that's not a poke at Montgomery. That's a poke at how they're going to use their red zone packages. I think the Lions have more to offer in the red zone, like with Laporta and Amon-Ra, as opposed to what the Dolphins have in the red zone. So again, that's just a bet on that they'll just run the ball a lot in the red zone.
Trey was asking how far that Stroud fell. He went at pick 69. I'm not sure what his
Trey
ADP
Parker is that? Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't that one of the guys who do South Park?
Yeah, but it's not spelled the same.
Oh, that's
That's
true.
I think it's TREY.
Hey, for a moment, it was nice thinking that the creator of South Park's in our chat. All right,
Oh,
way to kill my
absolutely,
hopes and dreams.
absolutely. No, Stroud went right at ADP. His ADP is 62. He was pick 63, so he went right at ADP.
Also, Basketball. If nobody's seen that movie, go watch that.
All time,
Very, very, very funny movie.
all time. Dude, you're a little bitch.
Let's see how far Burrow. Never mind.
I'm taking Njoku ahead of ADP. This is again my my tight end cliff. Njoku, Bowers, Ingram. Got to get a piece. Got to get a piece.
I feel you.
I don't mind Goddard or Schultz. I just think that these three specifically have more targets than those guys come the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Njoku, Bowers, Kittle, and all the other guys you're just always going to take your shots on. Ferguson is kind of like, he, as you see, like he kind of leads off that group. So, and I think there's still a fair amount of other value that I could get here. QB, running back, receiver. I like the receivers here too. Palmer, Shakir, Lockett. I don't think Sutton falls to me, but we'll see.
I will take Mostert. I saw a while back Jake took Evan Ingram. Really like that. That's one of my favorite picks around this area.
Mm-hmm. No, like I said, like he's like a very good value. I mean, he was what, tight end 2 last year? Tight end he tight end 1?
He's such a friendly tight end offense. I love Evan Ingram there. It's funny. He left New York and then found his hands. It's pretty comical. It says Bowers is so superior here. You are. Hey man, if you want to do
superior is a word.
I
don't know if it's about Brock Bowers, but it's a word.
I'll take you straight up fantasy points, half point PP, or half point. So underdog scoring. Evan Ingram versus Brock Bowers. I'll take that all day spread.
I'll take Njoku as well.
All right. Cortland Sutton's a guy that I can't process in my mind right now. Like, what the hell's going to happen with this dude? He fell a little bit. I need a wide receiver. I would kind of prefer some of these other guys, but I don't have a lot of Sutton. Oh, man, that's a tough one for your boy here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. I'm hoping it gets traded, to be honest with you.
I think a lot of people think that about a lot of players.
Yeah, I would love to see him go somewhere else.
I don't know what I want to do here. I might pull up Palmer. I might pull up Shakir. I think I'll probably go Palmer. No. I'm not gonna go Palmer.
Paul, I'm with you, G Ferrari. So yeah, spread.
I know a lot of Bowers lovers out there, so I get it. Don't get me wrong.
I got nothing wrong with Bowser. I got nothing wrong with Bowers. I think that Evan Ingram sees more targets.
Agreed.
Mr. Parker here says, how do you feel about strictly building a roster based on top 12 projected scoring teams? So Wiles and I actually kind of had a small conversation about this. Connor Allen on Twitter, if anybody hasn't followed him, you definitely should. He puts out some good stuff. He put out projected scoring team stuff on there, and I think it's fine. The problem is you're going to have to really just forego ADP because you might get a point in the draft where there's nobody around in the 12 to 15 spots that's in that little threshold. So you're really going to have to just jump ADP, but I think it's fine doing it. I mean, how many times is Vegas wrong? Not many. So I think it's a fine strategy. Bowser Jr., Mario Kart legend. see, there you go. You got to use Brock Bowser as one of your team names. Add Bowser in there somehow.
He's not a Bowser, guys. It's not a Toad. It's more of like one of the Mario or Luigi builds, I'll say. Pretty average. I took Trey Benson. Tony Pollard went. Let's see. Jordan Love. Nothing too unusual here in these last couple of rounds. I mean, we had the big runs of running back, like we said. Jaden Daniels ahead of Jordan Love feels like a bit of a stretch.
Really?
I think Dak's still available.
Hmm.
What did Jordan Love finish last year? I mean, wasn't he? He was up there.
Yeah, I just think that Jaden Daniels' rushing ability is going to help him get to where Love should finish, roughly. I think it's going to be closer than people probably think that will be.
Interesting. I thought you were all out on Jaden Daniels.
For real NFL, I think that he could potentially get crushed. But for fantasy purposes, I mean, he's going to run a lot.
Okay. All right. Well, you might run and get crushed. I didn't know where you were going there with that. I was like, what?
Very true.
Could have swore you said this is not the guy we wanted.
I mean, I was in the Drake May camp. I'll stick to that. But Drake May don't got the legs like Jaden Daniels does.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Who's got the injury history?
That's accurate.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not against it. I definitely don't like him ahead of Jordan Love, who showed us something a little bit more reliable last year. And by all means, I took big L's on Jordan Love last year. I did not take a lot of him. So I've definitely gotten more exposure this year. But yeah, it's just weird pick for me. I'm going to be probably looking at a quarterback with this next pick. Maybe Gopher. I don't know. We'll see what the picks ahead of me do, because I feel like we might have Dak, Caleb both go after ADP here. Wow, Purdy shooting up the board to Villalobos. He got the Debo stack. He had Debo. That's right.
Yeah. Paquin says, I tried to get Jaden in a few drafts and he gets reached on every time before I want to pull the trigger. Yeah, I mean, you kind of just got to be committed to just taking him, because he feels like a guy who's getting pulled up the board a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Dak will fall to me, but I think, oh yeah, see, there he goes from 95 to 112. We've seen him go farther than that, Wiles. We've seen him get stretched out. So people don't like Dak. People don't like the Cowboys.
Yeah,
and I'm okay with it, because I'll eat that up all day. I would have only gotten him like 6 picks after ADP, and I was okay. I have quite a few shares of Dak. I may have to pull up Goff here, just if I want to get him. I think I might be patient and just wait.
Trey says, my hot take for the year is that Eric All becomes a top 10 tight end the second half of the season. So that's
wow.
the Bengals rookie tight end. That'd be interesting, because they still have Tanner Hudson, and obviously they have now
that's
Mike
my guy.
Gesicki. So that would be interesting if that happens. I'd say a good dynasty pick, I think.
Mm-hmm. I took Shakir. I was considering him at my last pick, so all good. I like getting some later exposure in the offense there with Buffalo. One of the higher performing offenses, obviously. Not that matters to me, but when it's a late round pick, we're getting into the second half. Tie goes to the offense that scores some points.
Mm-hmm. I feel you.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll take any sort of Goff, Wicks, Cooks, Eckler, Ford, even Gabe Davis. I don't care. I mean, if it gets real crazy here in this next handful of picks. We'll see. Brandon Cooks. There it is.
Yes, sir.
It's okay. I want Goff right at ADP. He's pick 125.
It got picked up 112 with an ADP of 95. Haven't been in any rooms like that at least yet.
Oh, I've seen that multiple times.
Yes,
multiple times.
I've seen him fall. Yeah, a little bit.
How many drafts have you done, Jake?
I know he's done a bunch. I think this is only like his maybe like.
I'm not draft snobbing. I'm just curious.
I'm not draft snobbing. Interesting part of the board here.
I want Wicks because of the value, and that offense is going to score points. So he's the receiver that goes the latest of that group, and he has potential to be like one of the top 2 guys. So I prefer Wicks. I prefer Wicks or Reed, really. Like, I'm either first to the room for the Packers receivers, or I'm last.
Yeah, I think Wicks is fine. I don't really want to take a whole lot of Christian Watson. I mean, dude don't even have the same strength in both legs. So I like taking Dobbs or Wicks.
Mm-hmm.
Reed is expensive to me personally. I don't see that he's going to get the amount of targets needed to pay off where he's going. I think he's a good wide receiver, but I don't know. I think that that's going to be a guy that we see next year being drafted at least 3 or 4 rounds later than what he's going now.
No, that's fair. I mean, when you look at the target share from last year, Dobbs, if Watson played all games healthy, and Reed, they all would have finished within like 3 or 4 targets of each other, and it all would have been like between 98 to 102 targets. You know what I mean? Like there's not a lot there because they just love to spread the ball around and really mislead defenses with their play calling. So again, because of that, I will take the guy that's first or last. Dobbs, like you said, a little too expensive, and Watson, just the injury issues, and then the emergence of everybody else. Like, yeah, they drafted him with decent capital in the NFL draft, but the competition around him is immense. Throw in the running backs, throw in Luke Musgrave, Jordan Love every now and again keeping something for his legs. Not a lot to go around there, so I'll take the value on Wicks. Like I said, hopefully, you get a domino that falls. Maybe somebody got moved. Maybe there was an injury, whatever it is, and you're getting just the better value. Zeke Elliott ahead of Jerome Ford is so weird to me. Yet I see it all the time. All the time.
Ford should be going in front of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Probably at least 10 running backs that go before him. It says, why Goff over T-Law, who fell past ADP?
I have the Amon-Ra and David Montgomery. I also have Kirk, I think, so I could have taken him at 125, but I went with Goff. And Goff went right at ADP. I mean, he went right at 125, so I don't know where you're at with that.
Yeah. Trey says, how do you guys feel about the crazy wide receiver prices? I feel like this is the year an early RB start. Hall Bijan Gibbs is what wins BBM. I'm not in that camp. I think you're going to like your team much more when you go more wide receiver heavy and then let those running backs fall in the middle part of the draft that you can take a few of those guys. I mean, sure, are those guys going to outperform?
You can't get Hall and Bijan on the same team.
That is true. I think he's just saying an early RB start, like one of those guys is what went. So I don't think he's meaning like 3, but yeah, I think I like taking wide receivers first personally, but like, I mean, out of those guys, Bijan's my favorite. Like that's the guy I'd be willing to take, over those other 2 guys. I'm glad you didn't, but just wondering. So Paul, thanks you for letting T-Law there.
I wasn't the only one. He fell. What? He's pick 118. He went to 127. So what? 9 picks. I mean, okay fall. I mean, everybody's taking their stand with quarterbacks. Purdy got brought up the board. Caleb, I think, fell a fair amount. I can't remember what his exact ADP is, but 126 feels like a fall. What do I want to do? Get some more Darnell.
Yeah, you like that bull.
Yep, I do like some Darnell Mooney. McCaffrey Barkley is definitely doable. I've seen Barkley fall to the end of the second round just because people love receivers. You get one receiver avalanche in the second round, and there you go.
Bruni, where are you at? Schultz versus Fryer? Son of a bitch! I would just talk myself into Schultz. God,
Poopy.
Both of them go. Fuck me running.
Freiermuth has probably more opportunity for targets just because there's so many weapons in the Texans offense, but the Texans did pay Schultz as well. So it's kind of tough. I'm not opposed to either one, but I don't think that anyone can say like, oh, you absolutely have to have one of these guys over the other. I think their cost is both pretty equitable, and you probably want to have them as your second tight end. I mean, if not, then you're definitely running, 3 at the back end of the draft.
I talked myself into just taking whichever one was left, and both those guys go right in front of me. Sometimes that's just how it be. Oh, that is, oh God, that sucks.
Well, the guy, thanks for the money clowns. He did stack him with Stroud, and Collins, so he had some correlation there.
Paul says Caleb was my dream 20 pick past ADP.
Yeah, but that's going to happen again. That opportunity is going to be there for you. Me and Andrew, I think 2 shows ago, Caleb went 23 picks after ADP.
Yes.
I wouldn't say we're on the train, but I think I've bought a ticket, like, to take one stop to another. I don't know if I'm getting on the train. I've also bought a ticket on J.K. Dobbins' train a few times. I don't care. I just mix and match back there.
I like Vidal. I think he's a fine pick, especially where he's going. I mean, the other guys going around him. I know you liked a lot more, but the other guys going around him, I don't really have a ton of conviction one way or another there. And it's a team that we expect to run the ball probably more often than not.
Paul says he's the engineer. I love
it. Nice.
Well, the trend has to start somewhere.
Full speed ahead. Choo choo.
Yeah.
Of course, I was a conductor on the Chig train last year, and that train fucking went off the rails. We crashed. Big time.
Yep. But we're back.
We're back.
I am back for the Chig. I just stacked up Cousins and Mooney, 12 and 13. I don't get the fall for Cousins. I mean, those 10. I mean, I took him 2 picks after ADP, but 9 picks after ADP across the last. Was it the last month? Yeah, it was the last month. That's crazy. Yeah, 9.8. It's crazy. Jermaine Burton after Cousins. Let's see. Nick Chubb went to this guy. He was his 1, 2, 3, 4th RB. That's a no-no, as we've said.
Yeah, that's tough.
Eddie Lacy should finish as an RB1 this year. That would be dope. That would be dope.
What a pool, man. Eddie Lacy, what a guy.
What a year that was.
Yeah.
What a year that was.
He came on and off the scene as fast as Peyton Hillis did.
Oh, man. Peyton Hillis was awesome, though, dude.
I mean, he made the cover of fucking Madden one year.
Yeah, well, that'll do it. I mean, all it takes is 1 year.
What a
there goes JMC. Check his ADP.
He said, spread
right at 153.
Spread wants us to draft together again. That's a wild ride between Bruni and I. We are so different on some players. It's not even funny.
I mean, I thought we handled it pretty well.
Sure, yeah. It's just funny. Like at times you're like, we're not taking Jonathan Brooks, and I'm like, fine, we're not taking Adam Thielen.
Well, I think those are both like I mean, one, they're both Panthers, so we can just both agree, like, hey, you know what? Maybe we don't experiment with Carolina players, like regardless.
Yeah.
It's just regardless.
That team together.
With we can agree on that. Like we shouldn't be overboard on them.
South Park says he met him at a club in Milwaukee and he was throwing cheeseburgers at people. You sure he was throwing them and not like throwing them in the air and then catching them in his mouth? Because Eddie Lacy could sure put some fucking cheeseburgers away. It looked like. Peyton Hillis got cut because the coach's wife thought he was hot.
Damn. That happened to Jared Goff. I would pipe Sean's girl.
Well, yes. And Jared Goff's girl. If you never saw Jared Goff's now wife.
Solid. I don't get that whole thing. Yeah. Okay. Nice young lady, I'm sure. I never understood the whole thing where it was like they won a game, but like she was on a beach somewhere, so they recorded her reaction of it. What? She was like so surprised, like they could have actually won. Like the her shock on her face was like, they even played the game? Like what? She was so surprised.
Yeah. Trey says, wait, is the Matt Stafford wife stuff true? Yeah, you mean she started dating like his backup in college? Yeah, I mean she was on the podcast, told that story.
That was dumb as hell. I still don't get that.
Jake Paquin bringing us back to the actual draft says, been grabbing me some last round Brendan Rice anytime I got Herbert 2 rounds or so past his ADP. Yes, I'm with you on the Brendan Rice train. I mean, I'm not gonna draft a ton of them, but he's probably one of the most exposed wide receivers when I take Herbert. So I'm with you there, Merch God.
I'm not.
She gave the backup that hawk to Speaking of YCC Stafford voice stuff with the college back. Yeah, that's what we were just talking about. Spread can't believe it.
She said she did spread. She said that she did.
She said that she did indeed spread.
Damn.
Oh, too soon.
Damn. Paul was asking, has there been any camp news on Rice? I mean, so like my thing with Rice was
Brendan
I just
or Rashi?
What?
Nothing. I said Brendan or
Brendan.
Rashi.
Brendan.
I
Brendan.
know, I was just fucking with
my thing with that is that people were overvaluing him in my dynasty leagues. Like the majority of my leagues, he would actually go undrafted. And then every now and again, I would see someone in like a 3-round league being like, "Oh, I'm going to take him in the 3rd round." I'm like, why? What are you doing that? Like, I see this guy go undrafted in 5-round leagues. Like, just people just getting really cute. And I feel like that's what type of pick he is right now. If there is a clearer picture of him being a starter or playing meaningful snaps this season, then sure, I can get in. I can get in my last 3 picks when there's some type of market cost adjustment. But right now, I'm not interested. I'm sorry.
I feel that.
Let's see. I took Chuba. We had Gibson, Ray Davis. You took Baker, cleaning up the Tampa Bay stack.
Braylon Allen, early 15. Shoo.
Yeah, this is a tough room. I'm not gonna lie. I think Paul brought some friends. Because damn,
Paul is a solid drafter. If you follow him, he's always in the streets on I see him on a ton of different streams, Pete and all that, and yeah, he's solid.
No, Paul gets it done. I just think he invited too many friends. That's all. And I guess, we're just preaching exactly what we're doing. Thanks for the money clowns is definitely watching this. No question.
You called King of QC that time that he was silent in there. And yeah, you called that. So now I'm wondering if this guy's actually in here.
This guy is definitely in here. And speaking of which, where is the King of Quebec?
He's probably, what is it? A queen up there? What do they got?
You think they have a queen in Canada?
No, never mind.
What?
I was kidding. Never mind. Spread says, bro, Stafford should have hooked up with the nurse while she had cancer and motivated to get healthy. Unbelievable.
Whoa!
Oh my God.
Spread! Whoa! What? The wheels have come off. What? We've lost the draft. We've lost control of this room.
Paul is not laying claim to any
these
friends.
These are not our friends either, Paul. These are not our friends either. Other than Wiles.
Some, yeah. Wiles.
Other than Wiles.
We got G Money up in here.
I'll consider Paul and G Money, pals, but these other guys.
Friend of the program.
Humble legend, Brasidas, thanks for the money. Delu Tomsky, welcome. We'll include you in the click here. But yeah, I don't like this draft. I don't know how much I'm going to like my team. I'll tell you one thing. I did not care about bye weeks in this one. I'm very good with bye weeks usually. I'll get a bye week badge before I'll get an underdog badge.
Jalen McMillan sighting.
Yeah, pretty normal. 181.
Burton go? Oh, Burton's right there. 13.
He went in pick 13, pick 150.
I know our boy Pat Pounders likes Jermaine Burton a whole lot, and I'm with him on that. I think that's a good spot for Burton as being the wide receiver 3 in Cincy.
Yeah, McMillan went at 181. His ADP is 191. That's very much on pace with the ADP adjustment in the last week. So, yeah.
Jake Fioji said, "I feel the same way, Bruni." Meh.
I don't know what he's referring to, but this draft maybe just icky. Can we do it again?
Hey, remember, I tell the story all the time. I hated the team that took me to the BBM4 finals last year. So you just never know, buddy. You never know.
I don't know, man. I only have my receivers started good, but then I just kind of settled for Shakir and Mooney. I don't know.
He said yes, the draft, by the way.
Yeah. It's not great. It's not great, Bob.
Not great, Bob.
It's tough. 3-5-7-3. I don't know what I'm going to do. I feel icky about it. I've got 2 quarterbacks on week 5 buys. So that's great. That's good. I just like Will Levis. I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker. Spread says he hates every team he drafts. You should fix that, brother. You should fix that, brother. Do better, Spread.
Do better.
Am I taking another share of Tyler Boyd? Or am I taking a fall? Oh, I'm definitely taking a fall of Marvin Mims Jr. Don't you dare take Marvin Mims Jr., Andrew. Don't you dare take him.
I do have Sutton. It has crossed my mind.
Don't you dare do it. If you do, then you better take Bo Nix with your last pick.
No, I don't know about that.
I'm making you do it. If you take him, you better take Bo Nix with your last pick. Or Greg Dulcich.
Arizona plays the Rams. I might take Zay Jones because I have Cup, so it kind of correlates there.
There you go.
New England.
Wiles thinks he's all smart, going friggin' Puka and Marvin Harrison Jr. It was Zay Jones and Cup all along. Hey, let me have Marvin Mims. Let me have him. Let me feel good about this draft. Thanks for the money, clown. You already took enough good players of mine. Don't take Marvin Mims Jr. right here. Don't you do it. I know you're watching. Don't do it.
If you're watching, you have to do it.
Fuck you.
You have to do it for the bit.
He's killing the clock, too. He's like 7, 6, 5, 4. Motherfuckers.
Oh, he's watching the stream. He's here.
He's such a bastard. Such a bastard.
What? Hey, if you are in here, let us know. We will rate your team, and I'll just have Bruni personally just rate it himself.
Talk to Darius Slayton. Here we go. Here we are. I dislike this team. I want a refund. I wish there was something. Oh, wow. Juwan Johnson, not the last round. So I'm saying, man, if Juwan Johnson's going in this round 17, you know this thing's tough. You know this thing is tough.
So Paul taking Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
He has three QBs.
I bet they all don't have the same bye week.
They do not.
Yeah, I have 2 on week 5.
I'm surprised he went with a third one after he got that fall with Trevor Lawrence. They took Geno. I'm kind of surprised he took a third one.
I mean, not everybody's, in that Trevor Lawrence is going to be a top 5, top 10 guy. So I think
shut your mouth. Sunshine's going to be amazing.
Calm down. The way they run the ball, Travis Etienne in that offense. I mean, Etienne could very well lead the league in touchdowns this year. I just think that there is some weeks that you may see Lawrence play second fiddle, make a couple of mistakes. I think that's a good combination. If I have Lawrence, I definitely want to have a 3 QB build, especially if he's my first quarterback.
Okay, understand.
I mean, I could definitely talk myself into maybe him and Cousins, something like that, or maybe like him and Rodgers, but I still won't feel amazing about it. I would definitely want to back him up with like a Levis or a Wilson or a Bryce Young for sure.
See, I feel like you just got to draft like you're right. Like, what's the point in doing that? Because then you're just kind of admitting to yourself that you don't think Trevor Lawrence is going to be good. So why the hell did you take him in the first place?
Because he fell, 9 picks after ADP, right where Paul wanted him.
Well, that's even better. If they fall past ADP, then you're getting better value on them. That's more reason to just act like you're right. In my personal opinion, that's just how I draft.
But you also are very exclusive to 2 QBs.
I do prefer 2 QBs. I've done 3. I did one the other night and sent it to Wiles, and then he copied me. He was like, "Yeah, that's amazing."
That's amazing. Let me do that too.
Nah, he didn't copy me, but he kind of did a similar build.
Unreal.
So Wiles took Boyd with his last, but you went CMC. Goodness gracious, Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Boyd. Paul, let's see, G Money, Foreman, and Austin Estime. Aldrich Estime, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen him go a whole lot, so that's a way to be a little unique there.
I'm going to take Jatavian if he's there. Calvin Austin, Paul, you dog.
Okay, well, there he goes. Now he has that stack, plus I think he has Pickens.
There you go. Look at you.
Okay.
No Cordell Patterson there, Paul? No, can't do Cordell? No?
Ew.
I mean, that's what everybody was talking about. Oh, Cordell Patterson, Arthur Smith. Oh, it's going to be the match made in heaven. The next best thing since Hawk Tua.
I don't think it's anywhere near as close as cool as Hawk Tua.
Yeah, I'll take Jatavian Sanders, get a little more there. So I went 3-5-7-3.
Don't love it, don't hate it.
Pretty much. Too many buy conflicts. Doesn't deserve to win it. We'll go over it. We got a lot of grades here. Got a lot of grades. We got D. Lou Tomsky. I almost said it wrong. You, me, Paul,
Wiles.
G Money, Wiles. Yeah, we got some reviews here, so we're gonna have to take some time here. George saying he is also 3573, also doesn't love it. So maybe not the highest grades tonight. We'll see. Or maybe I'll just, completely flip the script and give myself a 9. Who knows what I'll do? Tucker Craft. You can put it on the board.
Interesting.
Yeah, don't love that. Isn't he hurt? Cedric Tillman, that's a sneaky good pick. Everybody loves Cedric Tillman last preseason. D. Lou Tomsky, who was your last pick? Not for you, Jake.
He took Will Shipley.
Will Shipley. So let's do his team first. Well, I'll get out of here and pull up I'll pull it back up, don't worry.
D. Lou Tomsky did go with the 1 QB build, by the way.
The 1 QB build. What?
Yeah, he went Patrick Mahomes.
That's it?
That is what 1 QB build means, yes. He said,
I mean,
also,
this isn't weekly winners, right?
Exist. 9s do exist, but you got to knock the socks off, baby.
No, they don't exist for Jake. All right, D. Lou Tomsky. Brother, I want to say this is bold, and you're going out on a limb here, but I do not trust a 1-6-8-3 build to advance. I'm sorry.
That's tough. I did 3 of these last year, 2 Mahomes, 1 Jackson, and I did advance 1 of them. So I was 33%.
Wow.
Yeah, it was the Jackson one. It was the Jackson one. I did advance it. It didn't go anywhere after that, but I did advance 1.
All right, so Patrick Mahomes, Isaiah Pacheco, Devin Singletary, James Conner, Braylon Allen, Tyrone Tracy, Will Shipley, CeeDee Lamb, Malik Neighbors, Devonta Smith, Rashee Rice, Christian Watson, Dontavian Wicks, Josh Downs, Malachi Corley, Musgrave, Hawkinson, Woods. I mean, just trade one of these guys for Derek Carr, Will Shipley, or somebody back there that was just free.
Yeah, I mean, he has some stats with Mahomes, but
I also just wish your running backs were stronger for not having a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, his wide receiver core is decent. I mean, he's taking the shot on Watson and Wicks, one of them being, really good. He has Musgrave and unless he got boned out of, maybe he was trying to get Jordan Love and just got boned out of it because he has a lot of Green Bay things here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine.
I just I don't know. I felt like obviously Lamb is a very good pick, but when you have Neighbors and then Smith, I feel like your receivers are kind of weak after this. We don't know what's up with Rice. He's your 4
plays with Downs and Corley.
Yeah. I'm going to go 6'5".
Yeah, I was going to say 6'6". So I'm there with you. Right. It's okay.
All right. We'll skip over you and me for now.
Come back next time and let's see you do a 2 QB build.
We'll go to Paul next. We will come back to you and me, but we'll save you and me for last.
Yep.
Trevor Lawrence, Geno Smith, Russ Wilson, solid. Russ was ahead of ADP, but I don't mind that. Same for Geno. Interesting. Kind of ADP swapped there for top 2 QBs. Bijan, Taylor, great start, like we said. Javonte, Marshawn, Vidal, great finishes there. Javonte after ADP, the other 2 are ahead. Moore, Pickens, Worthy, Thomas, JSN, Lockett, good stack there. Luke, McCaffrey, Calvin Austin taking a couple of shots, and Brock and Shig. Interesting. So
he has some stacks here. I think he has a little bit of, I'm trying to look at the correlation. Yeah, he's Pittsburgh, Kansas City. Does he have Washington? Yeah, he does have a Washington and Atlanta.
I'll go 7-5 because, like I said, I like the quarterbacks. I like the running backs. In the draft, I was liking your receivers more than I think I'm liking them now. So I'm gonna go 7-5.
Yeah, I mean, he took the JSN and Lockett combo, so only one of those guys, and his, that's his fifth and sixth wide receiver, so that I like a lot because then he's just really leaning in on one guy, performing for him there, so I don't
Mm-hmm.
mind that. He obviously has a little bit of correlation going on for week 17, some nice stacks. Yeah, it's not bad. I'll give him 7-7.
All right, pretty close there. D. Lutomsky was saying if you had Josh Allen last year, your team had a better advance odds without a second QB. Right, but Josh Allen is also a rushing QB. So if you had taken Jalen Hurts or Josh Allen, your argument may be a little bit better
True.
because they obviously have more upside with the rushing yards bonus.
Yes, sir.
Well, not bonus, but just scoring in general. G Money got Josh Allen, Brock Purdy, Aaron Rodgers.
That's solid.
That's solid. Yeah. I mean, Lutomsky may have the argument there that he didn't need Rodgers, but still good, stable. Zamir White, Kamara, Tajay Foreman, Estime, solid. I don't
Uh,
love Estime just because I'm a JMC pusher. I'm doing my part to put him up the board, move his ADP market for sure. Wilson, Samuel, Lad McConkey, Keon, Coleman, Jerry Jeudy, Ricky Pearsall, Rashad Bateman. Pretty well rounded. Again, here I like Kincaid enough to where I don't feel like I need to get the third tight end. So I think I just pivot the Conklin and I mean I guess the Rodgers pick they were stacked, so that's fine. But I think if you built up your running back and receiver stable, I'd give you a higher grade. So I'm gonna go. I like it a smidge better than Paul's, so I'm gonna go 7-7 there. But I think you were easily in the eights if you subbed the Conklin Rogers stack for just something else at receiver and RB.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a 7-8, and I think for me it would take Rodgers off the board. I don't mind the third tight end. I mean, I obviously love
Well, but he had him
Kincaid, but
stacked though. Like I mean, Rogers and Conklin are
he
kind of like just a
does.
package for him.
I get that, but I mean, at the same time, like he didn't need to take Conklin if he had Rodgers, and he could have
Mm-hmm.
just still. So for me, I don't think that the third QB is the way to go here. I think two QBs were fine. I would have liked to see that Rodgers pick be a running back here. 6 running backs. I don't really think the running back stable is super solid here. So yeah, for me, I think he needs to do that. Actually, I'm moving it down 7-3.
Dang, he did also have Garrett Wilson in that stack too for Conklin and Rogers.
Yeah, that's
Fair
true.
point.
I don't know. I just don't think that. Well, I mean, then maybe plan accordingly a little better and don't take Purdy. If you want to do that, I just don't think it
There's
needed
a lot of
three
good players
QBs.
at Allen's value too. I mean, you could have taken Kelsey there if you wanted to because did he have
Mhm.
anyone paired up with Allen or no?
Yeah, he has Kincaid and he has Coleman.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, very good.
Yeah, I mean it's a good team. It's
Mm.
just I would like to see another running back fit here.
Well, I would certainly like if Mahomes got back to 2022, but that belly of his is certainly not living in 2022. I'll tell you that right now. All right, we got Wiles up here playing it by the book, going Murray, Stafford, that in the dome, week 17 correlation. Not afraid taking Josh Jacobs, 7 picks after ADP. Brian Robinson, Zach Charbonnet, Algier, Herbert, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Weak but deep. You got your 6, so we'll see what you did with the rest of it because obviously that's a we'll say a blemish on your grade so far. Puka Nakua, Marvin Harrison, Zay Flowers, Godwin, Palmer, Gabe Davis, Michael Wilson, Tyler Boyd. I better see at least one really good. Yep, there it is. Sam Laporta and Evan Ingram. That is still a bully tight end approach. Even where you got Evan Ingram, you're looking at a guy who was top 3 at tight end last year. So I love that. And you made up for it because I thought for sure like you had to have at least one elite tight end there, not knowing your team. I will give you a 7-8.
Yeah, this is pretty good. I would be interested to know like spread, Paul, Meg, whoever's in the chat. How do you guys feel about taking the Arizona Rams, both QBs in the same game to end it? I've seen people talk about this if it's a good strategy, bad strategy. I'm kind of out on it a little bit. I'm out on it because if that game's really bad, then you're completely dusted. I'm in on it because if that game's awesome, then you have probably a pretty high scoring team. So I'm kind of split on it. I don't think I prefer to do it personally, but
Are dome games not
it's
awesome,
okay.
Andrew?
Sure, they can be.
I wonder what the spread is, like points per game average for week 17 in the dome versus not in the dome. We should find out about that. Maybe we run numbers for the last 3 years and we'll get back to the fans. I think that would be some important information.
Yeah, I'd like to know what people think about that, because I have seen it, discussed and talked about on podcasts and stuff, if that's a good strategy or not. But I mean, either way, he built the team correctly with that, so that does help him. At least he didn't just take those two and then like one from each team. He has enough there, so that makes sense to me. I do like that. His tight ends are awesome, love that. Running backs, it's okay. But yeah, his wide receivers are great as well. He gets a straight 8.
Yeah, George, you said 3 QBs, but the Jets game, the Bills and Jets game, they're both in this, could be in the snow. It's both of them. They're playing each other. Do you remember who his other QB was?
George, he took Purdy.
Okay, so Purdy plays Detroit, but that's also in San Fran, so it's not in a dome. But still a good matchup to target.
Is it in?
Yeah, it's in San Francisco. Yeah, it's not in a dome.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Big cock Brock, yeah, 1000%. But also CMC could just nobble up all them tutties. Week 17, Breece Hall and Jerome Ford stack in week 17, crushed. Who is this?
Murray Lime. He was in our last inning. So Breece Hall and Jerome Ford stack in week 17, crush. Yeah, exactly. Like that's prime example of that.
All right, so you had Jackson, Mayfield, CMC, White, Mostert, Chandler, Pierce, Bigsby, good RB stable. Mike Evans, Cooper Kupp, DeAndre Hopkins, Cortland Sutton, Brandon Cooks, Mike Williams, Quentin Johnson, Zay Jones. Andrew won the draft. You won. Congratulations. 8.2.
8.2. Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's the best team. It's the best team in here. You're welcome.
I can't tell if you're being facetious or not.
Again. I'm not. I tell you all the time when you suck ass and you
is
draft
true.
these awful teams. This is your best one, probably in the last 5 episodes.
I actually don't love my wide receivers. I mean, again, I went, CMC kind of makes you not take a wide receiver at the top there. But yeah, I mean, Evans and Cupps is fine. Outside of that, like I think I have enough guys to get me there with wide receiver 3-ish 4. But yeah, I don't love my wide receivers. That's me personally.
All good. We'll see what you think of mine. I don't think it's an 8-2. I've got Goff, Cousins, Levis. Those glaring 5s just staring at me. Ugh, yucky. I don't like it. Derrick Henry, naked. Kenneth Walker, David Montgomery, Trey Benson, Chuba Hubbard. Okay. I feel okay about that group. Yeah, I feel okay about that group. Amon-Ra, Adams, Kirk, Ridley, Shakir, Mooney, Slayton. Again, feel better about the top half, not so much the bottom half. Top 4, a lot better than the bottom 3. Njoku, Smith, and Sanders. I'll give it a 7.6, 7.7.
I don't mind this. Your team's fine. I like your running backs a lot, actually. I really do like that. Your wide receiver first 4 are very solid. I like that a lot. I think you shouldn't have either taken a third QB or a third tight end, whichever one you would have decided there, and placed that on another wide receiver. Personally, I think your back half guys are good, but maybe a little bit more upside there. Personally, but outside of that, I actually like this. I'll give it a 7.7.
Thanks.
I don't think it's bad. I mean, I know you're sitting on it, but I really don't think.
I think I've done a better job many more times than this. So sure. That's all. Draft 65. Yeah, get it. All right. No, very fun episode. Chat, you guys were alive tonight. Appreciate you jumping in. Throwing us some great bones here, some conversation pieces, whether it be Hawk Tua, stacking that first RB, with your 6 RB. I don't hate doing it. Andrew doesn't like me for it, but he drafts terrible teams all the time anyway, so no worries.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I like you keeping me honest. You tell me when it's bad and you tell me when it's good. That's what's important in a life.
Mine average, so it's okay. I appreciate that. Even when mine are amazing, you're like, 7.5 for sure. Yeah, totally.
I appreciate it.
All right, cool. Who we got up tomorrow? Is Megan and Steve back tomorrow afternoon for Wednesday?
No, I think it's Spread. I think it's Spread and Tyler, if I'm thinking of that correctly.
We've had some schedule changes this week, and it's been tough to keep up with.
Yeah, I think it's Spread and Tyler.
Are they doing something tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow night?
I think it's in the afternoon. Yeah,
Well,
Spread
the
and
easiest
Tyler.
way you can find out at home is by turning on the notification button.
That is true. Spread and
Doing that
Tyler tomorrow
now.
at 4:00.
All right, there you go. Be back tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern time. All best ball summer long. Like we've said, we're in the dog days. We've got a long way to go, but we are here for you. Whether it's just that casual best ball conversation in the streets, or we're literally drawing swords and we're dueling each other in the draft room. You tell me when it's bad. You tell me when it's good. If it can't be good at it. Unreal opportunity to close there, Bruni. Sorry, buddy. Sorry. 1 Eastern for me. 1 Eastern for Spread tomorrow. If you're chilling on the West Coast with Spread. All right, we are out. Be sure to smash the like button on your way out the door. Follow the channel. Hit the noties button. Take care. Be well. Be good. As Jake likes to say now, if you can't be good at it. Peace.